I'm Dave Spalding. Welcome back to Ruger's Tactical Tips. It's not our goal here at Ruger Tactical Tips to get overly complicated with the information we're going to provide to you. So we got to be real careful about what we're going to tell you. However, when we're talking about carbines, we've got to talk to you about zeroing your weapon. Really quick, on this diagram we've got right here, I want you to understand that especially on the AR-15, because of the tall sights, there's going to be a difference in what your field of view is versus the trajectory of the bullet. Now, if you look here at this diagram, you can see this human eye looking straight down the sights to the bullseye. And in kind of an over-accentuated way, you can see that the muzzle of the rifle is actually pointed upward and launches the bullet in kind of an arc. What you have to understand is what you're accomplishing with your zero. As you can see from the diagram, you're going to have a first and second zero, basically a primary and a secondary. Now you have to decide what are your operational parameters. What is the distance that you are likely to engage? Now, let's take a look at some zeroing distances with the standard 55 grain full metal jacket. If you look at your 25-yard zero, of course it'll be zeroed on. At 50 yards, it's going to be about an inch lower. 100 yards, about an inch and a half lower. And then at 200 yards, you can see it starting to come back up again as we go to that secondary zero. 50 yards, 2 1/4 inches high at 25, almost infinitesimally lower at 100, and not much more at 200. 100 yards, 5.86 inches. Now you can see this could potentially be problematic if you're zeroed at 100 yards and now all of a sudden you need a 10-yard shot. So you need to kind of keep that in mind. Also keep in mind for that close shot that the sight tower on your AR-15 is about 2.5 inches higher. So say you're 7 to 10 yards away and you've got to take a headshot because there's a hostage being held, and you hold your sights right here, well, where's the round going to be placed? Something to keep in mind. But now let's put this zero in perspective. Let's go to this DST target, looking at the primary neutralization zone high in the chest, which is most of the vital organs. This is your zero, whether it's 25, 50, or 100 yards. Now let's take a look at the variance. 100 yard zero, a 25-yard shot. There's that high distance we're talking about. Beyond that, you're going to see that the difference is not very significant. 50-yard zero, 100-yard shot. 100-yard zero on a 200 shot. 100-yard zero on a 50-yard shot, and then vice versa. 25-0, 100-yard shot. Now, I'll be honest with you. I prefer the 50-yard zero because it takes me so far out with very little variance. But you got to decide what's best for you. You know, I've been to some training courses where the instructors will almost stamp their feet because they insist that you use their preferred zero. Well, don't use their preferred zero. Use your preferred zero. But whatever, zero your gun, make sure your gun is zeroed, and zero both your iron sights and your optic.